Hi, everybody. I'm Gwendolyn Sterk of Sterk Family Law, and I have the privilege to introduce you to our May 2022 Not-for-Profit Hero of the Month. And I'm happy to have Kate Rasmussen of Legacy Ranch with me today. Hi, Kate. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Sure. Can you tell us a little bit about what Legacy Ranch is?
Yeah, so the Legacy Ranch is an equine assisted services facility that offers support to children and adults of all abilities to offer therapeutic riding, mental health therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, as well as team building events for corporate organizations, as well as yoga, mommy and me classes. The list kind of goes on. So our kind of intention for our facility is to ensure that we have a space for anybody from outside that can come in and we can support whatever need that they have.
Well, very cool. Can you tell us a little bit about how the Legacy Ranch got started and its history?
Yeah, so in 2016, the founder of our ranch, Sandy Molesky, her close friend, Ann Swaney, was actually tragically murdered on a horseback riding trip in Belize. After she passed, Sandy really wanted to continue her living legacy and provide, a memory for her in her name. So what we did was we started a foundation in her name to be able to provide funds to other facilities that incorporate horses, to be able to support them in her name. And what we found was there's a lot of facilities that weren't able to incorporate all of the therapies and assistance that we felt were truly needed in the community. So what we ended up doing was we decided to purchase, our own plot of land. And in 2017, we purchased the Legacy Ranch in Lockport, and we started kind of our own programs. And we said, hey, what are the needs of the community? How can we support people? How can we be different? And how can we, help Anne's legacy live on? And what can we do that we feel that she would be really proud of? So, we started in 2017. We keep on building our programs, and we are constantly in touch with the community, really trying to figure out what are the needs of both the special needs community, but also, the able community, especially through the pandemic. A lot of people are suffering emotionally, so we want to make sure that we can provide assistance to anybody that feels that they need our help.
And it's really interesting because I was reading on your website and you have the difference between the equine assisted mental health therapy and equine therapeutic riding. So can you tell me what the difference is and how that works?
Yeah, so the psychotherapy is unmounted work with a licensed therapist. Um, they have the opportunity to provide the therapy that you would normally see in a clinical setting, outdoors and in nature. So we bring the client out. They have the opportunity to work out in the pastures on our 10 acres of land, now 20. We actually just purchased an additional 10 acres, and they're able to be free with the horses. And it's a different type of therapy because they don't feel like they're in a clinical setting. They also have the opportunity to work indoors if they feel more comfortable being in more of an enclosed space with the therapist, but there's always a horse there. What a lot of people don't recognize is that the horses provide a different type of space that any clinical setting for therapy that's not able to provide. With the therapeutic riding, most of those activities are on the horse. We also provide unmounted activities such as grooming, leading, communication, and team building skills. We offer that program as well to all ages and abilities, special needs, whether it's cognitive, physical, or emotional. And we specifically build a curriculum based on the needs of that particular client. So, when you come to our facility, you're never going to see a session take place that is exactly like the other because, as we all know, everybody has different needs, and everybody has different goals. So it's super, super important to us that we ensure that we can help each individual meet the specific goals that they have.
Now, then the services encompass all ages, really.
Correct.
Children, adolescents, adults, even seniors could come to the facility and get different services that they may want.
Correct. We start at age 4. By that time, the kiddos are a little bit more aware of what's going on with these animals. And we go all the way up into senior age. We are an ADA compliant facility, so we have a little bit easier accessibility for those that may be physically unable to get around as easy. So, and our horses are trained specifically for these programs, whether it's the mental health program, therapeutic riding program, occupational therapy, physical therapy. We hand select these horses and train them so that they're able to support us in these therapies.
Now, I also read that you provide lessons. So is that in a non-therapeutic? Is that just a horse lesson then that's available as well, horse riding?
Yes. So we offer traditional riding lessons to the public as well. So when we started this program, we wanted to make sure that nobody felt left out, right? So as I said earlier, we primarily do the therapeutic riding, but we also have families that come in that might have a special needs sibling, but an able-bodied sibling as well. So we want to make sure that these families can be incorporated too. So we can provide a traditional riding lesson for an able-bodied rider. We also, kind of thrive on being a foundational facility. So whether it's somebody that may have had a fear of a horse growing up, or they may have had an accident, potentially at another facility, that we help to build the confidence of these riders, both therapeutic and traditional riding lessons, to really help them gain that confidence so that we can then graduate them out. If they want to do a higher level horseback riding experience, we're kind of that beginner place for people to really help them out to get there.
Sure. And I assume that that's how it ties into both the occupational and the physical therapy you're talking about as well.
Yep.
So really, all forms of therapy are available at your facility, which is amazing at the same time. I also read about a program that was kind of interesting called Mommy and Me. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the Mommy and Me we offer for little kiddos who, may not be ready to be riding horses weekly. They're from ages about 3 to 5, and it is a 4-week program, about 45 minutes a week. The caregiver, it doesn't have to be just mom, it can be caregiver, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. And within those 4 weeks, the kids learn everything about horses. It's hands-on each week. So one week they might finger paint the horses. So they'll be out in the arena, they'll learn their shapes and their colors, and they'll paint the horses with non-toxic paint. So it's super, super safe for the horses. And then they'll go into our craft room and they'll do a separate craft to focus on what they did in the arena with the horses. So it all ties back. And at the end of the 4 weeks, they do have the opportunity to ride a horse. So we've got horse handlers that will ride their horses, that will help them ride their horses. And then the caregiver is able to be there with them along for the experience. It's a really good bonding experience, and team building for the young ones, to start at a really young age.
And speaking of team building, I also read that you offer a lot of programs for teams or functions, perhaps corporate functions, something that might be useful to a lot of organizations as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So part of our wellness program, we feel that it's very important for larger organizations, to come together in a different type of space. We find that, not everybody, gets along in the workplace, or they might have difficulties struggling with communication, and bringing people out to our facility for that kind of peaceful, serene environment, and including horses into some of these team building exercises. Some of these things might include like obstacle building. So the team will come out and we'll say, okay, you guys need to build an obstacle course for your horse to walk through. And it's up to you guys to encourage this horse to walk through the obstacle course that you guys made. And so the team will have to, get together, plan the course, and then figure out how they're going to get this horse to walk through the course. It's a little bit easier said than done, because horses actually mirror a human's behavior. So if the team comes in and you guys have been having issues in the workplace and you're not necessarily agreeing on team goals, the horse can feel that. So if you guys aren't coming in committed to work together, your horse is going to stand in the corner and say, well, I'm not committed to working with you either. And they'll stand in the corner. So the horse kind of gives you a different understanding of what needs to be done in order to be successful. And sometimes being able to see it from a different point of view helps the team to be able to recognize what your own needs are for your organization.
That's so fascinating. So how do you do activities for a public member, somebody that's listening today, and they say, hey, I really want to get to know this organization more. And other than going to the website, Is there some way that I can come to your facility, or can I come to an activity? Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So we always offer tours. We love for the community to come out, visit our facility, meet our horses, meet our clients and our staff members, but we also would not exist without volunteers. We have over 140 volunteers. Almost all of our therapies, we need volunteers in those sessions. So for example, the therapeutic riding, most of our clients struggle sitting up on the horse on their own or even holding themselves up. So we may need 3 volunteers in a 1-person lesson, somebody leading the horse, somebody walking next to the rider and supporting them, in addition to the staff member on duty that's instructing the lesson. So we always need help with volunteers. We offer volunteer orientation. So it is not required that you have horse experience. It can sound a little bit scary to people, say, well, I love horses, but I've never been around them before. Right. We fully train anybody that walks through our doors. We teach you how to walk up to a horse. We teach you how to brush a horse. If that's not something that's interesting to you, we also have a garden. So if you enjoy gardening, you can come and enjoy our garden and water the flowers. You can also help with our barn duties, sweeping, filling water buckets, taking care of the living space that our horses are in, as well as assistance with our nonprofit board and helping with events. We always need, assistance with marketing for events, social media assistance. Any bit of help regarding that is awesome. We also, a lot of insurance, unfortunately, does not cover the therapeutic riding and equine assisted therapies. Many of our clients come in saying, we really see a benefit to this. However, if insurance doesn't provide it with all these other medical bills we have, we don't know if we can do this. Sure. And they see the changes it makes in these children and adults' lives. And so support for these riders, we actually have a link on our website at thelegacyranch.org that if you wanted to sponsor and support one of our clients, you have the ability to do so. We also need support with the horses, right? Because we can't run these therapies without our horses. Our horses truly are the shining stars. So we need support with feeding the horses, having, the proper supplements for our older horses. We have a lot of rescue horses that need a little bit more support. So outside of the volunteering, financial assistance is, what really helps us to continue to be able to run these programs and add in new additional programs as well.
And do you have any programs or sponsorship opportunities or events coming up that we could learn more about your organization?
Yeah, so we actually have on June 12th, a qualifying show for our Special Olympics team. Last year, we brought our first Special Olympics team for Equestrian Special Olympics. It is required that they attend 2 qualifying shows in order to go to the final games. So this upcoming horse show we have is at the Francis Field Youth Foundation in New Lenox. It is a fundraising show. So all of the proceeds that we receive will go back to our nonprofit, Legacy Equine Assisted Services, NFP, and that will help to support riders. It will provide scholarships to our riders in need as well. It is open to the public. So it's not just for our therapeutic riding clients that are going to Special Olympics. If you've got horses, people that have horses, you guys can come out and ride at our show. We also would love, support just to help cheer on, the riders that come. So we'd love to have everybody there. We also have another horse show that is actually going to be at the Legacy Ranch on September 17th. It would be our second qualifying show. It is specifically for the clients who attend lessons weekly here at the ranch. However, we again also welcome the public to come watch and support these riders. And it also gives you guys an opportunity to see our facility and meet our horses, staff members, volunteers, and clients.
Well, very cool. So what an opportunity, as a divorce attorney, I've had experience with clients whose children have attended therapy with horses, and it really has made a different impact. And I know that, one case in particular coming back, and of course it can't be specific, but just saying, I can tell my story to the horse and I couldn't tell my story to anybody else. And what an opportunity it was to really get the help to move forward in their lives. It's just a different environment. So I really appreciate what you do. And, I think that that's just a cool legacy, and not to phrase off your words, but to know that that's what horses can provide for the public.
Absolutely. They come off they're just a different energy that it's very hard to explain, you know, if you haven't been around horses, but you know, they are calming, you know, when you're around a horse, they just kind of bring everything down. They listen with big old ears, and they won't tell your secrets, and they're a safe place for everybody.
That's very cool. So how do we reach out to you and get to know more information?
Yeah, so you always can visit our website, thelegacyranch.org. You can also email us at info@thelegacyranch.org. Our office manager is wonderful with responding to messages. Anybody that's wanting to come for a tour, inquiring about lessons and group events, we are more than happy to answer any questions, have you guys come out and see how we're changing the lives of the community.
And I think I would encourage everybody to take an opportunity. We have an opportunity here to see this. And that's really what's nice, is that you open up the facility so that people can investigate what's going on in our community and see how they can help. So thanks for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.